Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, All Things Crochet, where I talk about everything that is yarn and crochet related. And today I am doing a video that was requested, which is Q&A video, because I'm not doing another live stream until next summer. So I asked y'all on my community page what questions y'all would like me to answer, and I got a lot of questions, so some of them will be answered in this video, some of them will probably be in another video or in my live stream next summer. So basically I'm just going to be answering some questions y'all asked me in that post that I had on my community page, which I accidentally deleted like a few weeks ago. But I asked y'all to ask me questions about like crochet or its channel, so that's basically most of what I'm going to be answering today. I did say that y'all could ask me other questions like what's my favorite color and things like that, so like those kind of questions will probably be like at the very end or for next summer. So anyway, let's get into this Q&A video. So the first question is, how long does it take to record tutorials? Okay, so it depends on what I'm making for a tutorial. So like yarn reviews don't take me long at all, like an hour maybe. Some videos like those crochet kits, the 3 crochet kit tutorials I have on my channel right now, those each took me I think about like 36-40 hours, but that's not just recording, that's editing, uploading, everything. So like it does take a long time to record tutorials like that, which is why a lot of tutorials have gotten postponed in the past, because it takes a lot of time and sometimes my week gets busy and I don't have a lot of time to do it, like work on hard tutorials like that. So like those kind of tutorials take me a while because those aren't patterns that I made before, so like I'm trying to figure out the pattern as well as recording, editing, and all that kind of stuff. When like tutorials like the hat tutorial or the octopus tutorial took me like 10-15 hours of like recording and editing. So I guess it just depends on the video that I'm doing, what kind of tutorial I'm doing, how big is the project that I am doing, and like crochet challenges also take me a very long time, like the crochet kits, which is why the Is This Sewing Pattern Crochetable challenge has not been uploaded yet, well, because I am still working on that. So like it just depends on what it is, on whether or not it's going to take a long time or it's going to take a very small amount of time. That's why I have a lot of yarn tutorial or yarn reviews on my channel, because sometimes I didn't have a lot of time, so I decided to make a yarn review, tell y'all about different types of yarn that I have collected over the years, well, over the past couple of years. So yeah. The next question is if like my work, like for I think like scarves and things like that, is like curving, like bulging outward, like how would I fix that? I think like when you're first starting, your work does tend to bulge out a little bit, because like I know it's something that I struggled with in the beginning when I first started crochet, was like instead of like going in a straight line, like I mean it still doesn't always end up in a perfect line, that's why I normally use a border, but most time when it wasn't like in a straight line and it was like bulging out or curving in, when I'm making like scarves and pot holders and things like that, like I realized I was either like missing a stitch or like sometimes I would use the chain space that I think I've shown you before in a video, and like I miss chain space, so like certain things like crocheting into the chain space or not crocheting into a chain space can make it bulge out or curve in. For crochet, I can always show this in more detail in like a separate video, and I have that as in my list of videos that I will be making in the future. So next question was, will I be putting out Christmas tutorials for Christmas time? I am making Christmas ornament patterns, applique stuff, and I'm working on a Christmas tree pattern as well for anyone who's interested in doing Christmas tutorials. Now, I don't know how many I'll be able to get out because tutorials, like I said, take a long time. So I have no idea how many I'll get out this year. Some will probably be saved for next year. Okay. And then the next question was, is this going to be a part-time job in the future, or is YouTube going to be my full-time job? Well, for YouTube, I think that's just going to be a part-time thing that I'm going to be doing on the side. Like, it's going to be more like a hobby instead of like a full-time job. Like, if I eventually make money from YouTube, then that's going to be extra income, but like music is actually my passion, so I'm probably not going to be putting out a lot of tutorials in the future after I go to college, because I'm probably going to be working more on my music career instead of crochet. So I don't even know how long I'm going to be doing this channel. It might only be for a couple more years. So yeah, I think this is probably going to be like a part-time job. This is more like a hobby for me instead of like something that I think would actually be my job, because I do enjoy making tutorials, but like there's a lot of other things I do enjoy a lot more. Like I said, that music is my passion, and so yeah, I guess that kind of explains why like it's probably not going to end up being a full-time job for me, but I do plan on still like crocheting and doing like having patterns on my channel, things like that in the future, but like I don't know how long I'm actually going to be recording tutorials for YouTube. So anyway, and the next question was when I'm going to put out the pattern for my bumblebee on my community page. I am working on typing it out. It is a very long pattern for the bumblebee, so I am working on getting the pattern out there for everyone, and that will be on my community page at some point in the future, because I know on my community page is where I give you all most of the patterns that I do, so that will definitely be out sometime in the future. The next question was, how do I make crochet patterns? Well, I am going to be doing a video for that in the future. Like I said, tutorials and things like that take a long time, so I am working on that one as well. I have a very long list of crochet videos that I'm going to be putting out in the future. Like, I have a smaller version of the bumblebee that I'm working on to have out, a little strawberry whale, turtle, an elephant pattern, and the frog stress ball will be out soon as well. So like I do have a lot of patterns and tutorials that will be coming out very soon in the near future. So I know like some of the bigger patterns that I do, I put as make a PDF pattern on my community page, so right now I believe on my community page all I have is the octopus pattern and the coral reef pattern. Those two are on my community page right now. Those I put out like a couple months ago, so you might need to scroll down a lot to find them if that's something you're interested in. So yeah, the next question was, what is my favorite thing I've crocheted so far? And I think my bumblebee is my favorite thing I have crocheted so far. And someone else asked me what's the hardest thing I've crocheted. I think it's a tie between the bumblebee and the coral reef, because the bumblebee took me 48 hours over the period of 2 weeks, and so did the coral reef. So both those took me a very long time. I say those are the hardest, but also like my favorite ones I have done so far. And I do have a tutorial for the top hat on the bumblebee that I put out last week. So if you want to add top hat to anything you want to crochet, I do have a tutorial for that on my channel as well. And I also got a lot of tutorial requests from the thing I have for the Q&A, and yes, I do plan on making some patterns for, I was planning on making patterns for Thanksgiving. If I have time to, I will finish the pumpkin pattern and put that out for Thanksgiving this year. But I think next year is probably the year that I'm going to do a lot more of that kind of stuff, because this summer I was focusing more on like making things like the coral reef and the fruit whales and turtles and things like that. That's mainly what I was focusing on for like this past summer, but next summer I'm going to be working a lot on Thanksgiving tutorials and Christmas tutorials, so that I can have more of those kind of things out over the next couple years on my YouTube channel. So, and then also someone asked me when the hat tutorials I mentioned would be coming out, and I do plan on having them out like this winter sometime, maybe, if not like sometime in March. But the next 3-4 months are going to be very busy months, so I am trying to get out, like, I'm trying to get these out like in the winter, but I am not 100% sure if that will happen or if they will be out like next summer or something, because even though they're not hard tutorials, they are a little bit more challenging. I believe all the hats that I have made, I've made a tutorial for all the stitches that are in there, except for maybe the front post, and back post crochet, which front post and back post crochet, I can always make a video about that as well, because I am using that a lot more in some of the tutorials that I am making right now for amigurumi and hats, and I probably will be doing a tutorial for that just so that I can have a separate tutorial for that, and not just with like hats and amigurumi and things like that. So I do plan on making a tutorial for those stitches, which in my hats I use like multiple mixtures of different stitches with that form of crochet, which I've used like back post double crochet or front post double crochet, back post half double crochet, and back post single crochet in some of them. And I believe one stitch I have not done a tutorial for that's in one of my hats. Well, actually there's two. One of the two stitches is the Hound Dogs. I think that's what it's called. It's like the combination of single crochets and double crochets. That stitch tutorial I probably will be putting out sometime very soon. And the shell stitch as well, because I use the shell stitch in a lot of things that I've been making recently. So those tutorials I do plan on making soon, as well as the hat tutorials. So that I know for sure will definitely be coming up as well. And also something I didn't mention already that I am going to mention is just we've made it to 100 subscribers now, so thank you all so much for supporting my channel with that. And anyway, back to the Q&A. Something else that someone requested is doing a tutorial on how I work with plush yarn, because I know plush yarn is really hard for me to use, and I know it's really hard for a lot of other people to use. So that is also going to be coming up very soon, because I think I have probably the next 7 months planned out with tutorials and yarn reviews and stuff. So I do have a lot of stuff coming up. It's just I don't upload as frequently as I used to, because I've been very busy and will be very busy for quite a few months. Yeah, so it'll probably be like a video every other week most of the time, unless I find that a different tutorial that I plan for another day would be easier to get out on another day. So like I put out updates and stuff like that on my community page, as well as like polls and patterns and things like that. And someone else asked me what crochet hook I would recommend for anyone who is beginning with amigurumi, like what size crochet hook would I recommend. Well, I think I've explained this in a few videos, I'm not sure, but like personally for me, because I crochet really tight, I use an F size hook, which I don't know what millimeter that is. Like I use an F size hook for that. And then for anyone who crochets loosely, I recommend like a D size hook, because then the stitches will be a lot tighter and not as loose for stuffing to come out. So I just say, like, if you're beginning, like, try things out. If you see that there's a lot of big gaps in your work when you're using an F size hook, maybe go down a size hook down to the D size hook, or even smaller if you have to. Or like if you start off with the D size hook and you see that your stitches are really tight and it's really hard to crochet and your yarn is splitting, I recommend like going up to an F size hook, because like when I first started, I used the D size hook and I crochet really tight, so it was harder for me to crochet with the D size hook than with the F size hook. It's different for every person, for yarn tension, for everyone's tension when they crochet and things like that. I believe I've gone really in depth into like yarn tension in a past video. I think it was called The Basics of Crochet, I believe, where like I went really into like the basics about yarn tension and things like that, because some things like a shawl, you might want to go up on a hook. If you crochet really tight, you might want to go up a size hook or two from what your yarn label says, or like go a little up or stay with the same hook if you crochet really loose. So like I've said before in multiple different videos, it's always depends on the yarn tension that you have when you are crocheting. So yeah, I do go more in depth about that in my basics of crochet video. I think it's like I think it was like the 5th video that I put out or something like that. I believe I have a playlist called Basics of Crochet, which I have that video in as well. So that is a video that I think might help if you're trying to learn more about yarn tension and things like that. The next question is relating to knitting. So someone asked me if it's easier to knit with the knitting hooks with like the loop on it that's meant for hats, but like you can still like crochet or knit in the round with, so, or with the long needles. Well, personally for me, it is easier with the long needles unless I am recording a video, which then I normally use the one with the loops because those knitting needles are a lot smaller and the needles won't be hitting my desk over and over again when I am recording. But for some people it's easier to do it with the one with the loop on it than with the long needles. And with the hats, I do plan on making a knitting tutorial for hats in the near future as well, because I made a knitting tutorial a while back. So that is another one that I know for sure is coming out like next year, I think. So the next question is, why do I sometimes wear gloves in my videos? So you might see in my last video I only wore one glove. Well, sometimes it's hard for me to crochet without them because sometimes the needle or the hook can easily slip from my hand. So like for tutorials I do that so that it's easier for me to crochet like on camera. I don't always wear gloves in some of my tutorials, so like that's why the person was asking. So yeah, that's basically why I've worn gloves in some of my videos. Because, well, anyway, then the next question was, am I going to be making any more crochet kit tutorials? I do have a few crochet kits. Hold up. This is the only one I could find right now. But this is one of the 3 that I have bought that I do plan on making a tutorial for. It's just these are a little bit more complicated tutorials. So these might take me a lot longer than the 48-hour ones that I've done in the past, and those I'm waiting for like next summer to do because those will take a while. And I believe like the sheep that I have, I do plan on doing for Easter if I can. That just depends on how much time I have around the time, because March is a very busy month, so for me every single year. So I am going to try to get the sheep tutorial out for Easter. If not, it'll probably be a summer tutorial like I said. And someone else asked me what crochet challenge out of the 2 was my favorite so far. I think my favorite so far was the animal mashup because that was fun, challenging for me to do. The AI crochet though, I might try that again in the future, like on my own for like clothing, like AI clothing to patterns and things like, and hats and stuff. I do want to try that in the future because I've heard that one isn't so bad. as amigurumi because amigurumi is definitely very interesting with AI. And I do plan on making another animal crochet mashup in the future because I'm making more patterns for me to be able to do that. So I'm probably going to be doing that sometime next year. Sometime. So there were a lot more questions about crochet and my channel that I'm not going to be answering in this video. Probably going to make another video, another Q&A video before summer, or just save them for like next summer when I do another live stream. So then some of the other questions that people have asked me were, what are some of my other hobbies other than crochet? So like I mentioned earlier in this video, music, which I play the piano and sing as well, but then I also like I also knit. Like I consider knitting like a hobby because I enjoy knitting and painting and other kind of crafts like that, and as well as learning sign language. So yeah, basically, and baking. So like those are basically all my other hobbies other than crochet. But music is my passion and what will actually be my career, like I said earlier in this video. The next question was, what is my favorite book? Because as y'all have probably seen in other videos, I have a huge bookshelf back there with a lot of books on it. So I think out of all the books I've read, it's like I own like over 200 books and read a lot more than that. I think my favorite, oh, that's a hard one. That's a really hard question. Probably, I really like the Little House on the Prairie series, as well as Jeanette Oakes books and what's her name? Beverly Lewis's books. So like I guess if I had to pick one specific favorite book, this is probably the question I'm going to be thinking the most about throughout this whole entire video. Probably out of all the books I've read, probably last year and this year, my number one favorite is probably the If I Run series by Terry Blackstock, which for anyone who is interested in mysteries, I definitely recommend that book series. So anyway, next question. Someone asked me what is my favorite animal. I say it's Typtonian penguin and axolotl, which I have not made, surprisingly, I have not made pattern yet for either of those. But I am going to be doing the axolotl for Is a Sewing Pattern Crochetable challenge, which I'm probably going to be doing after the frog stress belt tutorial. So yeah, I do plan on getting that done soon. It's just this Sewing Pattern Crochetable challenge will be taking me a while because I'm basically going to be looking at the picture of the sewing pattern, look at all the measurements and stuff, and then figure out what my pattern will be and brainstorming all of it. So that video is probably going to be like one of those 48-hour long videos that will only actually be like 30 minutes on YouTube. So anyway, The next question was one that I kind of already answered in a short a while back. I forget what short it was, but like, no, it was like a playlist I have on my channel, but like something else that someone asked me was like, what are my top 10 favorite songs? Because a lot of people know that I put a lot of different songs on my shorts and stuff, so like I do have playlists for that on my channel. For anyone who doesn't look at my community page, I did want to mention that on the video because I answered that on the community page and in a playlist. So anyway, that was another question that someone asked me. And then the next question, oh, that was another question that went along with crocheting stuff. What is my favorite brand of yarn to use? I say, if I had to pick a specific favorite brand of yarn, it'd probably be Big Twist yarn or Red Heart Super Saver, because I use those a lot, as you all know from my videos. I do have a lot of videos where like pretty much all of them I've used Red Heart Super Saver or Big Twist yarn on. Like for the Bumblebee, I use a mix of both because I didn't have all the colors in one. So it's that one I mainly used Red Heart Super Saver. It's just the yellow I used Big Twist yarn on. And I have no idea what yarn like they use in the kits for the Neil Creations crochet kit tutorials that I have done in the past. So I do not know what kind of yarn they use in there, if it's their own yarn or what or not. So anyway, the next question is, hold up. The next question is also related to the crochet, but it is, if I could crochet any Disney character, what would be? I'd say WALL-E, which I did say I am going to make a video for me designing WALL-E and then have like the pattern in the description box, but that will be like a next summer tutorial. I was planning on doing it this past summer, but when I had planned it, that was like when I was like sick and was not able to do anything like that. So the WALL-E design video will probably be like something I do during Christmas break in like a couple months during the time I have off for Christmas, or next summer probably. So I do plan on putting that out for anyone who's curious, because I do want to make all the WALL-E characters, because that's like one of my favorite Disney movies, and I want to make characters from that, because it'd be cool to crochet a robot. Definitely a challenge, but it'd be cool to crochet a robot. So, and then someone asked me what is my favorite AI crochet pattern that I tried. I think it was the mushroom, because that's the only one that looked realistic out of the 4 I tried. Well, 3 in that one video. There's another one that I had like on my community page that I told y'all about. Yeah, I think the mushroom's my favorite because that's the one that looked closest to what it actually is. But like, if it were the other 3, the bunny, the snake, and the frog, I'd say the frog was probably my favorite because that one almost, at least it almost looks like Kirby, so it was kind of like a Kirby kind of looking frog thing. So I think that one's probably my favorite other than the mushroom. For the person who was asking about that. Then the next question that I have on here was what is my favorite color, which that is blue. I think, I don't know if y'all noticed or not from all the tutorials I've done, but I have tended to use blue yarn a lot more often lately. So yeah, for the person who was wondering what my favorite color was, that's my favorite color, blue. Then the next question was is crochet my passion? Well, that I basically answered that earlier in this video. It's not, like, this is basically just a hobby. I might eventually make like a shop in the future for crochet stuff when I have more time to be able to crochet and put stuff out there, or maybe just have that for like patterns and stuff, like way in the future, like a few years from now. But like, yeah, like I said earlier, this definitely like just hobby of mine for right now. So anyway, this video has gone a little bit longer than I expected it to. So the rest of the questions that people asked me, I will be answering in another video or in the Q&A live stream I'll be doing next summer. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and also if y'all have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. If you have any recommendations for any tutorials y'all would like to see, feel free to tell me in the comment section down below, because I would like to see what y'all would like to see in the future. And also, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to click the like button, and if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, feel free to click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the notification bell, that way you won't miss any of my future videos. Happy crocheting. Bye.